you can get a Japanese license for only 240,000 yen and in just 2 weeks. Let me show you how. So usually the license takes about 3 months and costs anywhere from up to 400,000 yen if you do it in cities like Tokyo. But there are schools all over Japan, and some of them offer intensive 2-week courses, and if you find some that are in rural Japan, they might even get significantly cheaper than in Tokyo. Of course, these schools are very popular among university students because of the cheap price. So one such school is in Aki town in Kochi Prefecture, and here's how it works. First, the price breakdown. So for a normal car license, you will pay about 240,000 yen, and you will get about 2 weeks of classes for this. This includes also the dorm that you will be staying in, which is behind me, and which is located right next to the school and right next to the course. They also reimburse you 20,000 yen for your travel expenses. If you take other categories, so not car, then the price changes depending on which category you take. It can even be cheaper. Now, what do you get for this? The school offers a large variety of categories, and the courses consist of 2 weeks of intensive classes for both practical and theoretical lessons. The exact duration will depend on the category you choose. For example, if you want to do a car license from scratch, it will take you about 2 weeks. But if you have some other license, car license, and want to do a, let's say, motorcycle license, then you can reduce the necessary time. And you do not have to take the theoretical exam, so only the practical course is good. So if you have a car license and want to have a mid-class motorbike license, it will just take you 10 days. While the school does have classrooms, they're mostly used for explanation and some seminars, and most of the training is done online. Now, the classes are in Japanese, but you will get a textbook in English. And the good thing about these online classes is you can take them anytime at your own convenience, as long as you finish them before the tests. So the school itself is located right next to the training course. So the training course is part of the school. And the training course has all the most important parts of a driving exam. That is hard to see intersections. There's a signal, a crossing with signal lights. There's stop signs. There's uphill rides, railroad crossings, etc., etc. And on top of that, you will be driving from day one. So the first day you arrive, you will already be hitting the training course, and you will be on the training course quite a bit before you hit the road. And there's going to be a assessment exam before you hit the road. There are also simulators for emergency situations, like if somebody jumps in front of your car or if a car cuts you off. These situations are hard to predict and hard to experience, so for that there are simulators, and there is a simulator for both car and motorbike, so it's well prepared for everything. Now, on top of that, you can reduce the time that you spend here and reduce the stress here if you take the exam in your the written exam in your place of residence, so that you only have to do the practical exam here. The classes are really good for people with flexible times, because you can adjust. They are going to be flexible. You can adjust when you want to have the practical courses, and you can do the theoretical written classes at your own convenience. So if you have flexible work time, this is a perfect opportunity for you to get your license as well. Lastly, the school will offer discounts for couples. So if you have two people and want to take both of you want to take classes, you will share the dorm, and you will get a certain amount of discount for the course, for the license taking exam. Once you finish all your classes, you will get a certificate. Now, if you already have a license, with the certificate you go to your license center of your registered address. If you don't have a license, you will need to do a written exam in that place, unless, as previously mentioned, you have already done it before. And then you will have your license. Aki is kind of a lovely, small, 17,000 people rural town area in Japan. It has quite a bit of history, And for example, the founder of Mitsubishi, Iwasaki Yataro, was born here, and his childhood home is still in the city, and you can go visit and have a look around it. There's also the site of former Aki Castle. So back in the day, this was a samurai town, and in front of the castle you have a well-kept house of a former samurai, which you can enter and you can discover, and it's quite a cool experience. And there's a garden. It looks really cool. There are tons of great restaurants, and because this city is next to the ocean, of course, the best food is fish, and the local meal is katsuo. The town itself is also pretty beautiful. It's littered with old Japanese style houses, and they try to keep this as legit as possible. But there's also more modern amenities like electronics store, convenience store, and a lot of local small shops like shoe stores and this. So I do recommend it. On top of this, there's also great nature. There's a really cool cave which you essentially enter from the street, and once you pass the cave, you will find yourself in a bamboo forest. A completely different pace of rhythm. If you continue the bamboo forest, you will go on a short hike, and there's a small waterfall. And if you continue to go, you will end up on a hill and with a beautiful view of the entire city. On top of that, if you like surfing, this town is next to the ocean, and there is a huge, very long beach with some waves. You can also swim there. It's really also a beautiful area to just have a leisurely walk. It's really very easygoing city. Lastly, if you like stargazing, this town has probably some of the most beautiful night skies I've ever seen. Really, very little light pollution, and if you go there at a certain time of the year when the air is not humid and dry, you can see hundreds and hundreds of stars in the sky. I really recommend it. So if you're looking for a cheap and interesting way to go out of your place and make a license the same way, do consider local small rural driving schools. They do have quite a lot to offer. At the end, you will go back home with a car license or motorbike license. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. See you next time.